That is a walk-off win for the second game in a row, a sweep of the Boston Red Sox, and your Detroit Tigers now have the best record in Major League Baseball.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Thank you so much for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And it feels like your team every single day is doing something absolutely magical. And I don't even like using magical or Cinderella run or whatever, because I almost feel like that takes away from the players and the team. It's like there's a lot of work going in to this and a lot of preparation. And that's a 6-5 win, a sweep. They're now 29-15 on the season. Back-to-back walk-off wins and sole possession of the best record in all of baseball after the Mets loss. So that kind of is my first thought, is immediately after this game ends and the celebration happens, and I'm fired up watching with family. Then they interview Malloy, and Daniela Bruce, who's done such a fantastic job this year, interviews Justyn-Hen, and you can just tell that it's so genuine, the buy-in. I know that is like a trigger like phrase or word or whatever when people talk about culture and buy-in and that kind of stuff with teams and organizations. But like this, I don't know, maybe I'm just biased because I'm a Tigers fan and they're winning. Like maybe it's just that, but I believe it. Like every single person on this team talks about playing 27 outs. That's the first thing that pretty much everybody says. Javi said it after the walk-off. Justyn-Hen said it after the walk-off. Pretty much every single person has the phrase 27 outs just like ingrained in their brain. The other one that I think is far, I don't want to say like more important, they're all important, but that is far more impactful to me, is they keep saying, obviously not the exact same words, but some variation of like, I know that my opportunity will come at some point. Every game. That is unbelievable to get an entire 26-man roster. And honestly, it goes down into the, like, you're really talking about the entire 40-man, just completely bought in to, look, you might not start, you might not get 600 plate appearances, but you will get an opportunity. And honestly, you will get a big opportunity almost every game. You will get a meaningful, impactful, important at-bat almost every single time you put on the uniform. You just might not get 4 or 5 plate appearances. Akil Baddoo gets called up before this game. Okay, he spent the entire season so far in AAA. Well, I guess he rehabbed for a little bit down in I think West Michigan, but like he wasn't even on the 40-man at one point. Comes up, gets pinch hit for with the game on the line. Starts in right field, goes 0 for 3, but hits the ball hard in 2 of those plate appearances. The game is on the line. He gets pinch hit for. Malloy wins it. Who do you think the first person out of the dugout is? Smiling and laughing and running at Malloy. It is Akil Baddoo. These players, Andy Ibanez and Zach McKinstry and Justyn-Henry Malloy, even you can throw Javi in there at this point. He's playing center field. Like, this entire team has just bought into I don't care where you play me in the field. I don't care where you put me in the lineup card. I don't even care if I'm in the lineup card. I trust my manager. I know that he is putting me specifically in the best possible position to win tonight's ball game, and I know that I have a role to fill. And when that opportunity presents itself, that I know, and my teammates are putting the trust in me, and my manager is putting the trust in me, that I will be ready for that moment, because that is why I am on this effing roster, to do this. And Malloy knew. Baddoo's a lefty. They're certainly not going to have Akil Baddoo, who's been in AAA all year, go up against a guy who throws 102 from the left side. Andy Ibanez has already been pinch hit for. Guess what? Jay-Hen, it's your time to shine. And boy, did he. I truly do not know if I've seen anything like this from a Tigers team in my lifetime. Okay, I was born in the 90s. I don't think I've witnessed anything quite like this. There is a team universal mindset and buy-in into a system, and everybody wants to be like used every game in their, in what they believe they can in the role they believe they can flourish in. And the trust, like I said, I'm going to start talking in circles here, so I'll move on. But I know this is all super cliche and cheesy. And if you kind of scoff at conversations like this, I really do get it. But whether it's my bias towards my own team or not, I really do believe this. Like, I believe that they are bought in. And AJ is obviously at the center of it all, and it's his philosophy that they're buying into. It's unbelievable. And he and the front office obviously has a big hand in this, and I'm sure is supporting this, and is probably a part of establishing this. And all the players just deserve so much credit. So what went right? Obviously, we'll start with the walk-off. We're already talking about it. It's a beautiful piece of hitting. One of the things with Malloy that we have talked about in his really major league career so far has been his ability to hit velocity, which is just so funny now. Like, all right, just face the guy who throws harder consistently more than anybody who's ever played the game of baseball. And he gets a walk-off. That was really just a case of, that is not good command. You are, yeah, man, like that is not where he wanted that baseball. That caught way too much of the plate. Tried to go, 102 or whatever up and away. Kind of was in the general vicinity, but Malloy's all over it. I give him a ton of credit. That's a situation where he's kind of not trying to do too much, right? He's not trying to hit a home run. He's not trying to hit the ball 500 feet. The ball's coming in at 100, if not faster. You know what I mean? Like you can you can pretty much just put the bat on the ball and the pitcher will do the work for you. And I think that was kind of a situation of what that was. So unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm having so much fun. I'm hoping that every single person in this fan base is having so much fun. Yeah, the fans certainly deserve it after the last decade. I think AJ deserves it with self-inflicted or not, what he's been through in his career. And just, it is so awesome to see the Detroit Tigers back in the centerfold of Major League Baseball. It's been a long journey, but we might just be back. We might just be back, man. All right, let's we can stop all the overly dramatic nonsense, and we can get to talking about a couple of more highlights, and obviously we'll talk about what went wrong in this game, because it was, again, tied with one out left in the ball game. And so there's plenty still to discuss. Want to break down some bigger picture stuff as well. We'll do that right after this. Got to talk to y'all today about our friends over at Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site that is made for the skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Whether into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service all the time, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros that are looking for an extra edge, well, their free Trademaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every single order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. So join the Trademaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Use promo code SH5 for 5% off of your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Segment 2, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, making us your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day, and we will, of course, be back tomorrow on an off day. I have a lot on the itinerary to talk about tomorrow. There's a lot of kind of big picture and just kind of like news and notes that have happened over the last week that we haven't had time to talk about because of all the theatrics happening on the field. So we'll kind of get caught up with some of those things. Talking about this 6-5 walk-off victory to complete the sweep on Wednesday night, rather. Tarik Skubal with the start, 6 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. His ERA is now 2.67, which is still incredible. Look, I understand that the box score, maybe you're going to look at and be like, wow, 5 earned runs. Maybe that wasn't the best outing ever. He's fine and incredible. Okay, like I don't care. I don't care about the earned runs. Tyler Holton didn't record an out in this ball game. I think that's far more indicative of his performance than it is Tarik's. He was dynamic. He had 11 strikeouts in 6 1/3. Pretty much everything after the first inning was complete and utter domination until then. The 7th inning, obviously. And something that I really want, a point that I really want to make here, okay? For years, I have, I read the comments of my own show, right? As, fairly obvious statement. And for years, whenever we talk about, it happens mostly with Skubal because he's so good, but really with any pitcher that's really feeling it, there is always multiple people in the comments of my episodes going, Hinch pulled him too early, Hinch pulled him too early, Hinch pulled him too early, let him go another inning, let him go another out, etc., etc. So when this happens, I appreciate it. I do not find, and maybe that part of that is just like they still won, so ended up being okay. But I appreciate the fact that AJ Hinch trusts Tarik Skubal, who I firmly believe is the best starting pitcher on the planet, and trusts this team's ace to keep giving him opportunities in that 7th inning when he's allowing base runners with 90-plus pitches. I appreciate and am glad that happened. We don't get to have it both ways, okay? We don't get to be like, hey, like you're pulling them too early, and then when something like this happened, be like, wow, like leash too long, whatever. Like you, I appreciate it. Hinch usually has a pretty strict and quick hook when it comes to pulling starting pitchers and really pulling any pitchers. I just wanted to say that I do greatly appreciate that. Like Tarik has earned it. If nobody else in this team has earned it, Tarik has. Okay, he has earned the ability to. You know what? It's the 7th. He allowed a base runner. He's at 95 pitches. He has no outs in the inning or 1 out in the inning. I say we let him stay out there. He's still giving us the best chance to win versus anybody in the bullpen, and that's a good bullpen. It's just Tarik Skubal is maybe the best pitcher on the planet. He's also a psychopath. Like he's like laughing on the mound. He's joking with Bregman. The thing that I think is the most psychotic though is the fact that he's getting swings and misses from righties throwing sliders and lefties throwing changeups. That is diabolical. Like, do you know the confidence you have to have in your stuff to throw either of those? The slider's a little bit, that's somewhat common. You throw it to the back foot, whatever. But like to be able to have the confidence to throw both of those in the same inning and get whiffs on them and then lead to strikeouts for both of them is absolutely absurd to me. He's an absolute monster. He's throwing 101 miles an hour in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. He's great. Okay. 5 runs. I do not care. He's great. Kerry Carpenter on the offensive side of the ball had I thought a fantastic ball game. I know he only walks away from this with 1 hit. He technically goes 1 for 4, but my goodness, man, he was his 1 hit. That was a single, a double. That ball was about, 6 or 8 inches away from being a home run. It was a line drive that just barely hit the top of the wall and fell back into play. And then the other one was a home run that the Red Sox made the ridiculous catch with, where he, as Benetti said, he goaltends, takes it out of being a home run, throws it to his teammate, and gets the out. He was a combined foot away from a 2 home run night. And the first at bat of the ball game was like a whatever 8, 9, 10 pitch at bat. I thought he was seeing the ball incredibly well. I was really happy about it. Riley Greene, 3 for 4 with a massive home run in this one. That is what we like to see. And I think, one of the things that's wild to me is Riley Greene just has such a high bar of expectations for the media and this fan base. Just punched my mic, sorry. He is hitting now after this game 273 with an 823 OPS. Like this guy, went 0 for 25 or whatever it was at one point, or 1 for 25. And everybody, we literally just talked about yesterday how he's been hot and cold. We've all been like, we haven't really seen him at his best. He's hitting 273 with an 823 OPS. Like, that's good. That's heart of the lineup on a lot of teams and most teams in this league, man. And so good to see him put a good swing on the ball. Trey Sweeney again, man. I am just so impressed. 1 for 3 in this ball game, but that one he gets 2 RBIs. Shout out Trey Sweeney. I think in general, the offensive approach at the plate against Dobbins was fantastic. And I know that he walks away from this outing, I think 5 earned runs to his name as well, 9 hits, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Even before they kind of broke it open and got to him there a little bit at the end of his outing, I thought the approach was fantastic, man. They with no walks, to have his pitch count be as high as it was, where it was around 90 when he got pulled through 5, is so impressive to me. Like, even though they weren't drawing walks, you can work a count and be a tough at bat without drawing a walk. See Gleyber Torres, see Kerry Carpenter, right? So not on the same level there. Gleyber does walk, actually. Kerry Carpenter just refuses to. And so they grinded out at bats, and I think it paid off the 3rd time through the lineup, especially. They just grinded him to a point where something had to give, and that was going to be the Tigers. I was so impressed. That is, I know everybody talks about the gritty Tigers and whatever. That is the definition of. That won't be talked about. It's not in the box score. You're not going to hear a bunch of people talking about how great the at-bats were that ended in groundouts. But that is what leads to that. That's the stuff you got to pay attention to and realize. That is what makes this team so impressive. They're a bunch of dogs, man. In the bullpen, Tommy Kahnle, 1 2/3 innings of perfect baseball with 2 strikeouts. A fantastic bounce-back performance from Tommy Kahnle. Great bounce-back command-wise as well, man. He was putting the changeup exactly where he wanted. Everything was great. I loved it. And for a guy whose last 2 outings have looked really rough, for him to go out there, get the double play immediately, and then pitch the entire next inning and pitch really well, I think is a great sign for, again, Tommy Kahnle is going to be a good reliever for this team this year. Colt Keith, 2 for 4. His OPS is over 700 now, and he's been seeing the ball really, really well in the month of May. Just not afraid to to really just, again, he's the epitome of take what the pitcher gives you, right? The pitcher throws a fastball outside. Well, I'm going to slap the ball over the shortstop's head. The pitcher throws a fastball up and in. Well, then I'm going to turn on it and hit it over the wall. Like, he has really found his swing, and he's really feeling confident. He's at first base, like, nodding his head. Yeah. Like, he's back too. This team is ridiculous, man. Will Vest, shaky a little bit there, but like nails. He's got a 1.8 ERA on the season. The last thing I want to point out is base running. And it's so fitting that a game with such great base running happened on Joey Cora's 60th birthday. Happy birthday to everybody's favorite third base coach. I say that half tongue in cheek. I think right now he's everybody's favorite, but again, I read my own comments. I know the opinion of a lot of people over the years of Joey Cora, but this is why they have him, man. Aggressive send, Riley Greene cooked at the plate, but slides under the tag. Like, that is why the base running is aggressive. That's exactly why. You have to force a perfect throw and a perfect tag to get these guys out if you are an aggressive base runner. And if they do it, tip of the cap. The best chance to score a run is to have this uber aggressive mindset on the base paths that the Tigers have. Andy Ibanez in extra innings steals a base. Wong airmails that baseball into center field. He gets up. That challenge. I don't blame the Red Sox for the challenge, really. It's the ninth inning, and it's about to be man on third, no outs. If that holds, so like, you might as well just burn a challenge and use it. I didn't like how many timeouts they just got to think about it, though. That needs to be fixed. That's preposterous. But anyway, we won. I gotta, stay positive here. But Andy Ibanez, right? The steal and then takes third on that airmailed ball to center field. Like, that is again, the epitome of this baseball team. It's not going to work sometimes. They're going to get thrown out, and they're going to get thrown out by a lot sometimes this year over 162. But when you even it out over 162, this is the correct way to run the bases. What went wrong? Not a very long list. And then we'll talk stuff, okay? We'll do both of those things right after this. All right, everybody, welcome back. Your third and final segment of Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. So I feel really bad about this segment of what went wrong because it's really one person. And I feel like that's not totally fair. Like, there were at-bats throughout the ball game where I was frustrated with a specific player. And the Tigers, they went 3 for 10 with RISP. Like, technically that means that they failed 7 times with runners in scoring position, but that's still a 300 average. And the offense still, I think, did, again, a really good job, had a really good approach, 11 base runners. Gleyber Torres goes 0 for, but still puts together tough at-bats. Like, there wasn't one player that I thought was like a massive weak link on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. And the bullpen out, the last 2 relievers that pitched of the 3 were fantastic. And Tarik Skubal had 11 strikeouts in 6 innings, and the Tigers were winning. Like, this, unfortunately, I'm not putting the blame per se all on one person. Again, Skubal did give up runs, and in the first inning there, I didn't think his command was very good rather. But if you're going to point to one player who's just had a rough game, it is unfortunately Tyler Holden. He did not record an out in this ball game. 0.0 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, and obviously none of those runs are to his name. However, he does allow the inherited runners that were on base when he entered the ball game. I'm also not worried about this, though. Like, Tyler Holden's a dog, and he is fine. Like, it's May, it's a long season. He's gonna have rough outings at some point. Tonight, he did not have any command whatsoever. I am not here to tell you that this was like secretly a really good outing and you should apologize. Like, no, his command was terrible. Heart of the plate with the cutter, over the heart of the plate with the slider, to righties too. Just like, you can't do that. Like he really just felt like he was not hitting his spots, was walking batters. He never does that in high leverage situations, especially lefties. He's in there to attack Devers in that situation and walks him. That's like unacceptable. And he would tell you the same thing. He's pissed screaming at himself on the mound. I don't think I'm telling anybody anything that anybody disagrees with. I don't even know what that sentence just was, but you get my point. I think in general, this is just one that they'll, put behind him, and Hinch is still going to go out there and put Holton in high leverage situations because he's earned it. And he's been one of the best relievers, if not just straight up the best reliever on this team going on 3 seasons now. Stuff. Javi goes over. I thought we were gonna have it again. I thought we were gonna have it again, and it's just so on brand for him to first pitch swing and pop out and not score the run. All he needs to do is hit a fly ball or like a grounder that gets through the infield. Like, the only thing he really couldn't do was strike out or pop out, and he did one of those two things. Baseball is baseball, man. And nothing I said like yesterday changes because he went 0-for and popped out with the game on the line there. Like, he's still hitting 309 with an 842 OPS and playing plus defense in center field. Okay. We're not going to be so reactionary game to game. From the Red Sox perspective, this is brutal. What a kick in the guts, we'll say. Yeah, man. Like, they played really good baseball for 2 of these 3 games. And I think they probably deserved, quote unquote, to walk away with at least 1 win here. The thing that killed them in this game was, like, they really only got to Tyler Holton. They were not on Skubal for almost all of his outing. And obviously they weren't on Kaylee and or Vest. They really just got 1 reliever that was only in for 3 or 4 batters, and only hit him well. And then outside of that, the offense was pretty quiet. Dobbins stuff I thought was really good. I don't think that I think when Walker Buehler comes back, that Dobbins should still stay on the team. I think it would be a huge mistake, especially with how Houck has been pitching, for them to send him down. We don't go listen to Lock On Red Sox. Gabby does a fantastic job over there. We don't have to get into the intricacies of that, but just a team that is trying to find its ground. It feels like it's kind of slowly slipping away. Maybe they shake something up. But this is just such a gut punch because I think they played good baseball, and I don't think they deserved, quote unquote, to get swept here in this one, but they did, and I'm not going to feel sorry for it either. Rafaela, heck of a defender out there in center, cannon of an arm. That wild play, man. I've never seen that before, which it feels like, baseball is always giving you something that you've never seen before. I've never seen that before, where the right fielder robs it, but then the ball slips out of his glove. And props, man. Like, he's there, and obviously he was going for the ball too. That's why he ended up in that spot. But right place, right time, and you make a great play, and you give yourself a chance to win the ball game. Mad respect. I can say that now because the Tigers won, and it's not infuriating, which I'm sure it would have been if the Tigers lost. Akil Baddoo obviously called up. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Jace Young sent down. We're going to talk about that more in depth tomorrow, but I have no issue with it whatsoever. And again, Baddoo, had the strikeout in this game, but the other 2, he had a line drive to the left side that the third baseman made a good play on, and then destroyed a baseball to the second baseman later in the game. So some hard contact there, which I think is at least fair to point out. I do think the outfield of this game was just like hilarious. Like, imagine this. Imagine it's February, and I come on this show and I go, yo, I just got a crystal ball, and I'm using it instead of, making myself rich. I'm using it to just tell you the future of the Tigers. This is a weird scenario. And it says that on May 14th, the Tigers outfield is going to be Riley Greene in left, Javi Baez in center, and Akil Baddoo in right. And the Tigers are going to have sole possession of the best record in baseball. I think you'd slap me in the face if I told you that. This was such a great answer to the Rangers series as well. It's why we weren't worried when that happened. This team responds to losses just so unbelievably well, and now they're a win away from being 15 games over 500, which I can't even believe those words just came out of my mouth. Off day today as you listen to this on Thursday. First off day in a while. Hope the boys enjoy it. And we got Toronto this weekend. Look, man, this is awesome. The Tigers were the best team in baseball last year from the trade deadline to the end of the season, right? And we talked about how it was this unreal run, best record in the sport, best team in the sport. That's so cool. And now this year, the first month and a half of the year, almost 2 months, they have sole possession of the best record in baseball. At what point are they just... Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. We, of course, will be back tomorrow. Be sure to check out Locked On MLB Game Night. They stream live after the final out of every single night, 7 nights a week, holidays, it don't matter. Those guys are in there recapping the entire MLB slate from that day. You get to see my ugly mug if you tune in and hear talk about the Tigers' magic so far this season. But again, magic almost discredits the buy-in from these guys. It's unbelievable. So we'll be back tomorrow with an off-day show and preview the weekend. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. And I'll catch you all tomorrow, baby. Go Tigers.